But we're going to get started pretty soon here. My name is Lise McCoy, and I am broadcasting from the United States in the state of Arkansas, which is near Memphis, Tennessee. And so what happened the last few times I taught, sometimes the internet was fine, and once in a while it cut out. So if it cuts out, what I will do is I will mute my video so that the internet is stronger and you can hear my voice clearly. So I want you to raise your hand immediately if you cannot hear me. All right. So I want to welcome you to the session this morning. I've been practicing this meditation since 1985, so quite a while. And I learned this meditation in San Diego when I was 25, and I went to a meeting like this, only it was in person, and I had my realization. And later on, I was able to meet Srimataji. We all did, as she came to America many times. And during those years, the first few years, you learn about your chakras, right? So one of the things you might check on today is whether you know which chakra goes with which finger and are able to self-diagnose. And so you would check the chakra chart, the one that tells you which finger goes with which chakra, and make sure that you, when you sit down to meditate without the chart, you can remember which chakra if you feel something in your fingers. So the first few years, you start to clear out and you start to enjoy your meditation and get deeper and deeper into your meditation. And you start to be able to feel and self-diagnose your own system. The topic today that we're going to talk about is love and the heart chakra. And the essence of love is concern. So we're going to Footsoak, and then we will hear a talk of Srimataji's, and we will then talk about the heart chakra, and then you'll have a chance again to ask questions. And I was saying before, if you're just joining now, that as part of the foot soaking, we're going to try a new skill, which is learning how to work with the candle treatment. So if you have a foot soak bucket near, get ready. We're going to foot soak in a sec. And if you have a candle like this ready, that will be helpful. So the topic today will be the fourth chakra. And specifically, well, I should say the heart chakra also has another Sanskrit name, which is Anahat. And it is, of course, at the chest level. And the things that we're going to specifically focus on today are its qualities of joy, self-reliance and detachment, connection to spirit, security and self-confidence, unconditional love, and strength and courage. And so this is what we're going to do today. So for the first 15 minutes or 10 minutes, we're going to foot soak. So, okay, yes. So if you haven't already, get your bucket ready. And what we're going to do though first is we're going to put ourselves in Bandhan. All right, so let's raise our Kundalini. If you've already put your feet in, it's okay, but I haven't yet. So just raise our Kundalini like this 3 times. Hopefully you've learned that. Is there any, if this is all new to you, we're just manually pulling up the energy. And at the last one, we look up and we tie 3 knots. And we're using our right hand circling around our left hand like this. Okay. So then the next thing that we do before we foot soak is we put ourselves in Bandhan. And so that is, if you haven't learned it before, we place our right hand next to our left hip and we make an arc around our body, passing over the top of our head. And we do that back and forth. 7 times with our attention at the top of the head. And we kind of do it as a ceremony together when we are together. And for me, I always stop counting as my head goes empty. All right. And then we usually give a namaskar to the spirit, which is bowing our heads and putting our hands together like this. All right. So then we put our hands in our lap, but let's go ahead and put the salt in our Footsoak bucket. If you haven't already, a handful of salt. And you've got about a couple of inches of water, usually trying to cover your ankles with the water. It can be hot or cold. And then we put our feet into the bucket while we're sitting in the chair here. And then we check our hands to see, as a baseline, we check our hands to see how we are feeling on our chakras. So let's do that. Let's close our eyes. With our attention at the top of our head, just feel our vibrations. Let's breathe in, a deep breath. And breathe out. That is fantastic. So our foot soaking is not necessarily specifically technically a meditation. It is a clearing technique before we meditate, or to get rid of any kind of tension or heat in our chakra system. I'm just going to mute for 1 second. Okay, fire truck. So in our fingers, we'll check in to see if there's any heat spots, any cold spots, and we will begin always with focus on our left and right channel. So with left hand in our lap, we will put the right hand to the floor, and we're going to clear the left channel. Yeah, and the affirmation is Mother, or spiritual energy, please clear my left channel. We call the spiritual energy Mother sometimes. So your left hand is receiving the vibrations, and with your right hand, you are sending them down to the Mother Earth, which absorbs that. Okay, we're going to change now to the right side. Right hand up, as if ventilating out. Left hand up, right hand in your lap. Please clear my right channel. Mother, please clear my right channel. Okay, now shake off your hands and put them back in your lap. And now put your attention at the very lowest chakra at the base of your spine. And with your attention, go ahead and try to run your attention up the spine toward the top of your head. Now at the top of your head, poke the top of your head. It was a soft spot when you were a baby. It's sensitive. It has a lot of nerves up there, and pushing on it will help you be able to focus on it. So you can, if you want to, you can move your skin around on the top of your head to the right and open that up. Well, you can use your hand to raise your Kundalini energy. That's what we call the mothering energy that's coming up. Shake out your hands and then put them back in your lap. Okay, that's very good. We're going to get to the heart in just 1 second, but before that, let's work on the stomach. So the stomach is around the navel area. Just going to put our hand on the stomach. The affirmation there is, Mother, please make me satisfied. Please make me my own guru, my own master. Now let's work on the heart chakra a little bit. So with our right hand on our heart, center of our heart, let's say some affirmations for the heart center. The first affirmation is, Mother, I am the spirit. I am the spirit. The next affirmation is, Mother, please give me courage and fearlessness. Okay. Then the third affirmation there is, Mother, please give me love, enough love for everyone in the whole world. Please increase my ability to love other people and to love you. Okay, so just one more affirmation for the whole left side. Let's take our candle, light it if you have one. Okay. And now I will show you. So the left channel goes from your left hip all the way on up, crosses your head over to the right, like that. And you just take your candle and you move it to clear the left side. It's the light, not the heat, that's clearing the left side. Rahul, stop me if you can't hear me. And you can do that as many times as you like. You can also look through the candle to Srimataji's photo. There's a photo of Srimataji behind me. Okay. Then you can also move the candle to the left in a circle to the left, clockwise, around the left heart, not the right heart, because that's the hot side. I mean, that's the hot side. We want to warm up the cold side, which is the left side. So I'm making a circle around my heart. And notice that on the slide it says Swadhisthana chakra at our hip is connected to the heart chakra. So you can also, in your Footsoak, you can't see me in the picture, but you can move the candle around your left hip when you have more space to do it, and your heart, to clear them both. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do, I'm just going to turn off the candle now for a minute. We're going to take a second to empty our Footsoak bucket. I have some water here. We're just going to rinse our feet and dry them off on a towel. So let's just take a second to do that, and I'll be right back once I throw the foot soaking water in the toilet, not anywhere else, because it's full of the heat vibrations. So when you get back into your chair, into your meditation spot, I just want to say hello. My name is Lise McCoy. If you missed my introduction, I'm broadcasting from the United States. And I'm very happy to meet with you today. Welcome to this class. I've taught it about 3 times. The focus today is on our 4th chakra, which is the heart chakra, the Anahat. And we're going to talk specifically about these qualities of the heart chakra, and we're going to play a video of Srimataji's talk, The Essence of Love is Concerned. And in this video, I want you to think about, it's about 7 minutes. I want you to think about what is the essence of love and how does Srimataji describe that? And what does she mean by benevolence? So those are the 2 focus questions. And I hope you enjoy the video. Let Rahul know if you cannot hear it. Thank you. we should be playing the video. Okay. Oh, that's the other video. That's good. So Rahul, it's okay if that's the one we have queued up. It's okay. Don't worry. Just meditate well. Okay. Thank you.
We always separate love from action. To us, love means some sort of a mad behavior towards a person. It has no technical know-how how to love. It works without any understanding. When we love somebody, we don't know. What do? We think we love you. Tomorrow, we start saying, I hate you. So how can it be love? We love our own children, love our own family, love our own friends, which is so unreal. If it was real, it would never have failed. That you cannot definitely say that, all right, today you'll work for your son and be very selfish about your son. But you can't say tomorrow how he will treat you or you will treat you. But Param Chaitanya knows. It knows how to express its love. Not only that, but it's an eternal feeling of love, which may change its hue, color, but the concern of that love will be the same. The essence of love is concern. Even if, supposing, somebody does wrong, the concern of the divine would be to correct that person. Concern. What we say as hita is the benevolence. So the concern for the benevolence will be all the time there, whether it may appear to be sometimes cruel, might appear to be affectionate, might appear to be overindulgent, whatever it may take a form, like a wave. Whichever way it may look, but actually it's for your benevolence. It works for your benevolence. Not only your benevolence, but the collective benevolence. And it knows very well what is to be done, how it is to be worked out. It does not have to go and learn from anywhere, because the complete knowledge of all this know-how also within itself. It's such a storage of wisdom, knowledge and love. So it does not deviate. Once you become a Sahaja Yogi, the concern for your benevolence is all the time there. Whether you are punished or not is a different point. Some people might get a job. Some people will not get a job. With some people it will work out this way. With some people it will not work out that way. Then one may say that how is it this Param Chaitanya is behaving like this? It's all for your correction. It's a big journey. Whatever works out for your correction and is for your benevolence, if you understand this point, then you'll never be disappointed in your life. And it has no concern of its own benevolence because it is complete benevolence itself. It never thinks how it is going to be benevolent or helpful because it has no botheration about it. A man, say, who has everything, worldly things, still may be concerned about getting more, the greed there would be. But as it is the complete Purna, it has no greed. It's fully satisfied with itself. And because it is so powerful, so knowledgeable, that it has no doubts. No doubts of any kind. And because there's nobody which can harm it, it has no fear. And you all have now felt that Parama Chaitanya should give you a complete, fearless life, a peaceful life, and a joyous life. Like a child who finds his mother, then he stops crying. No more, now he's found his mother. In the same way you have found Parama Chaitanya and the connection within. So you don't have to worry for anything, don't have to think about anything, you don't have to plan about anything. Only thing is you have to jump into it. Just jump into it. And know that you have become part and parcel of the reality.
Okay, let's just put our attention at the top of our head and let that settle for 1 minute in our minds. So in our meditation today, we are going to focus on trying to feel connection with our spirit, which Srimataji calls Param Chaitanya, which is the overarching vibrations, the divine in the form of overarching blessings and vibrations. So you're all meditating. I'm just going to go into a state of meditation for a few minutes with you. Let your mind rest. We could have some music if you like, Rahul. Good. So that was a very nice initial meditation. And I want you to check and see how you're feeling in your meditation. Whether you were able to go silent in your mind, whether you were feeling comfortable in your body, whether the energy, you could feel it floating up. Not everybody can feel everything, but if you could feel one thing or another happening in your body or in your mind or in your heart or on your hands, any of that shows progress and you are doing just fine. Yeah, thank you, Rahul. I could feel the vibrations coming up. Now, some of you might feel them as sort of shivers. The vibrations can be felt as shivers. So earlier, Srimataji, in her talk, spoke about you're having a connection with the Param Chaitanya. And so the cool wind of the Holy Spirit is the Chaitanya. But in this sense that she was using it, think of it as the overarching kind of thing that we normally consider to be the spirit around us, or the spirit that's in everything, that looks after us and cares for us. So she was sort of talking about God's benevolence, right? God's benevolence being sometimes a kind of a churning of the world so that we grow. And sometimes people have one experience or another that that they react to. And this is God's benevolence for us, that the divine is trying to teach us a lesson through that experience, and we have to go through it in order to learn something and get somewhere with it. And so that is, benevolence means our welfare, but it's not always easy. Like, the answer is not always yes, and it's not always a walk in the park. Sometimes it's a very hard lesson if we're stubborn and we can't learn it a different way. And so we have to take notice of our chakras as being the first hints something's not good, right? So let's say that we feel something in our pinky finger, which is related to our heart chakra. We feel heat or tingling in the pinky finger, or we feel some heaviness in our heart. Then we need to act on that before it acts in our life. So there's a connection between what we're feeling inside on our chakras and what we experience as we walk through life. So I just want to express to you that, for example, through your meditation, through your heart rhythm, which is called your heart rate, not your rhythm, but your rate, how quick it goes, how quick your heart beats, slows down in your meditation. So you might notice at the beginning, if you were to check your pulse, you might find it fast, and then at the end of meditation, you'll find it slow. In the same way, blood pressure reacts to your meditation. And as you go deep into meditation, you are balancing your body, and so it goes back to the state of healthiness, toward the state of healthiness, and your blood pressure will go down to normal. So that's why before I go have my blood pressure checked, I go into a state of meditation while I'm waiting for that to happen. And it's amazing to me, so far in my life, I've had normal blood pressure, whereas a lot of people have elevated blood pressure by this time through constriction of their different organs in their body. So we have to take care of our body so that we don't have problems with the heart. Let's look at some of the slides, and we'll have an intermittent meditation as I talk about the heart chakra. Okay. So we said before that the topic today is heart chakra, and it has the name in Sanskrit of Anahat. So sometimes you'll see it as heart chakra, sometimes you'll see Anahat. And in our system, it is always depicted as having this color of a deep pink, or sometimes people call it magenta, or sometimes people call it maroon. You'll see it that kind of toward that color. And because it's associated with air, lungs, the element around us, the natural element that opens it, is air. So we breathe deeply to open the heart chakra. It has 12 different petals or different aspects. It is in the center of the chest, but on the left side, there's a left heart and the right heart, depending on, and the left heart is associated with the mother and the right heart with your father. And we talked about this being shown on our fingers as the pinky finger. And if you feel it out here, then it might be you. But while we're meditating collectively, it could be the collective. That's why you have to meditate separately to know if what you're feeling on your hands is just you and your vibrations, or it's the collective vibrations. And then sometimes people feel it vibration closer to their hand, the pad of their hand. And that sometimes can indicate something in their family. So on the feet, it's in the smallest toe. But also this chakra relates to Sahasrara chakra, right? So sometimes if you open this one, you'll feel better, more vibrations coming out here at the top of your head. And also, because I said before that this chakra has a relationship with left Swadhisthana, which is the sort of like the clearing center for our subtle system. If that's caught up, sometimes it affects our heart. We catch a negativity and it sits in our heart. And so we have to work on both the left Swadhisthana and the center heart. Okay, next slide. So the heart chakra is famously in charge of our heart, of course, the cardiac plexus, it's called in the medical words, plus the lungs, plus the thymus, all right, which governs our immune system. So first, let's put our attention, our hand and our attention on the heart. See if we can feel our heartbeat. Good. Now and I'm keeping my attention at the top of my head to try and make it a meditation. Now let's put our attention on our lungs. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe deeply. And you can imagine that the smoke in the air, or a genetic disposition toward asthma, is something that you could work on with vibrations, right? To feel better. All right, and then the thymus. So in the sternum bone, especially when we're young, the sternum bone is the place where the antibodies are generated by our system. And it comes from mother's milk. And if we have a strong connection with the mother, then we can more easily develop a stronger sense of fearlessness as we grow up, and a sense of security. So the thymus system is an important part of the heart chakra. And so if the heart chakra goes out, sometimes these two subchakras between our shoulder and the heart also are affected. And so sometimes you can massage these part of your chakra system to open up those chakras, Shri and Lalita chakras here, which are subchakras of the heart chakra, but also connected with the Vishuddhi here, to work on thymus, to work on opening up your system. And so let's put our attention on our thymus, which regulates and helps produce the antibodies. And let's ask Mother to increase our antibodies and protect us with the antibodies. And then for that, you have to put your attention straight in the core of your heart. And if you had some kind of conflict when you were a child, or your family's in conflict, or you've been through a heartbreak, even though your mind might be beyond that and you don't think of it anymore, it could be a layers down there that still is working on some level for you, and you don't even know it, but it's kind of keeping you from feeling all right. And so we have to keep on working on the heart to release all that old stuff. And try to ask the divine to remove all that old stuff out of our heart, so our heart will open. Shake off your hand. Okay. With our attention on our Sahasrara, let's go to the next slide, please. Okay. So one of the things I think is very important to understand is that joy is part of the package of being human. It's one of the things that should be there if we are in a healthy state. It increases more once you have your meditation, your realization through Sahaja Yoga, because then you're very connected. But we want to always be in a state of walking in beauty, where we don't have regrets, we don't have hatred, we don't have self-doubt. It's not the everyday flow of happiness. Oh, I heard some good news, now I'm happy. It means you feel like you belong and you are connected with the overarching power, the Param Chaitanya. And there could be some moments of sheer bliss when you meditate, or when you go to a special place and it opens that heart a little more. But in your day-to-day life, you could be satisfied if you try to walk in beauty and just feel the serenity and the freedom of not having this feeling of always being on the alert and being on attack. And so for that, we really have to cultivate a simple heart where we forgive, we let it go, and we try to remain in beauty. And the Native Americans explained their concept of walking in beauty, especially the Navajo, in this kind of song that they sing, where they're really connected to the nature and the whole experience of their spirit. So let's just meditate for 1 second on our heart chakra and ask Let me feel the joy. Let me feel the beauty of my spirit. Everything's all right in the world. I don't have any worries or doubts because the divine always takes care of the good, simple people who are just trying to do the right thing. And before I need to have one of those hard lessons, please let me be aware enough to ask you before and correct myself before that has to happen. So humbleness is important, right? Okay, good. Let's go to the next slide, please. So another thing that we can fall prey to because we go through bumps and jolts to our system and we get hurt and we get dominated by other people, or we suddenly lose our footing in life. So we have to go beyond what normal people think is that we're in control. We're in control to some degree about our sense of what is correct to do and our decision-making process, but ultimately we're just sort of trying to work it out with our spirit that we do the right thing. And so actually you can, instead of, let's say somebody's boss is, you think your boss is going to make a decision about you that's going to affect your whole life. It's technically not true in Sahaja Yoga. You report directly to the spirit. So you could say, let's go in our hearts and let's imagine we have something going on like that and just say, no, I would like to ask you to be in charge. I report to you. Please take care of me. In my meditation, one time recently, I asked, would it be better for me to do this or do that? And rely on this person or rely on that person? And inside, the message I got was, no, stand on your own 2 feet. It's just me and you. You're not alone. I got you. So you can go beyond. If you're having conflict or you're worried about the control or you're worried about the contributions of another person, let's say your friend might help you get something done financially, you can actually go beyond, go to the spirit to say, I need this piece of sustenance. Can you help me get it the best way for me? Because I want to do this project that will help my spirit or help somebody else. It has to be a pure request. It can't just be a greedy request. Another thing that happens sometimes is we have people in our life, and we need to have people in our life. We might have other people who practice meditation. We might have other people. So the helpful people are the ones that do not crush us and do not hurt us. And sometimes it's hard to tell if somebody's good or not good in our life. But you can use your vibrations to try and figure that out. But also, essentially, if they undermine you or threaten you, that's not right. And you need to let go in order to find the right people. So let's go in our hearts and let's ask for the correct people to come into our life to be helpful. And then next week, you have to look and see who showed up into your life. Who is kind to you? Who offered to help? Perfect. Okay. Another way, and I didn't tell you about me much, but what I love to do is to sit down daily and have a moment of reflection. Sometimes I do that walking, sometimes I do that before I sleep. Sometimes I do that in my meditation spot with my journal. Doesn't matter how you do it, but if you can gradually build your reliance and your connection by dialogue with the divine, excuse me. And so specifically how I do that is I put on a bandha, I raise my kundalini, put on a bandha, meditate for a minute, and then sometimes excuse me, I settle into meditation, ask for guidance, ask for help with anything that's worrying me. But first, before I write the worries, I always say, I write the date and I say, thank you for helping me. I'm doing well. And then I write down how I'm feeling. And then I might ask a question and you can ask a specific question, or you can ask an open-ended question. Do you have any guidance for me today? Or I would like some help with this issue that's going on. And if you treat it like the divine is actually sitting in your living room, then you will do it with very careful respect and protocol. You will take the time to do it gracefully. And sometimes I also ask for to be detached in case I'm feeling a little like over attached to my children, or over attached to a friend that isn't calling me or something. So any attachments that are too much, and try to remember that the loneliness is just a kind of a human problem, but it's not a yogi problem, because once your heart opens up, you don't feel lonely anymore. The loneliness goes away. And then you can also ask the Kundalini energy to expel any spirits, like negative energy that's sitting anywhere in your life. So let's just do that. Let's pick one of these. Just look at the screen for a minute. Pick one of these things you want to do. And then close your eyes. And just ask that question. All right, so then once you've written in your journal, it may not be the words that come to you in your mind that got written down. They might be confusing, but sometimes something happens in your life that helps you. So you can take stock of what you asked and whether it was resolved rather than the response. Okay, perfect. Let's go to the next slide. So this is what I think Srimataji was talking about in her lecture, that the first lecture that Rahul put up, she said, there is no other, we're all connected. So when we're thinking about other human beings and we want to help other people, we're all connected on the spiritual level. So if we're helping somebody else, we're all helping each other. And it's for our collective benevolence. So actually, if we in conflict with other people, it's not good because we're all connected. We're fighting, our hand is fighting our other hand. And then she was mentioning in this lecture that we listened to that true love is not a fleeting thing. It's a persistent thing. And so we have to try to get to that detached state where we're not, calling off relationships, or we're not looking at them in that immature way where we want to cancel something one day with our kids because they're mean to us. We try to keep a consistent feeling of maturity that we're growing a relationship that needs to last. How will we nurture that? And sometimes we don't know, but the divine can help us. And we don't want relationships that are codependent, where we're sort of always thinking of that other person and trying to help solve each other's problems. And when you're codependent, you think of somebody as a baby. You think of them as an immature child that you have to fix. And they might think of you that way. So if you have that kind of relationship with people, it's not that great because it's not based on respect, full respect. It should not be like that. And she was saying that our love should be based on concern. So whether or not we need to have some kind of, like when my kids were growing up, I posted the rules on the refrigerator door and they didn't like it, right? But it was my way of being concerned about them that they turn out right. And people tell me today that they think my kids are not spoiled. And so sometimes you have to be strict with somebody because you care about them and you want them to turn out right. So that's tough love. And then anytime you are trying to make a decision with a friend and it has something to do with what they can do for you, we have to try and go take the higher road and make sure we edit our next decision based on, okay, does this have something to do with my needs, or am I trying to take care of the benevolence of the whole situation? Okay. All right. This is, we talked about the sternum bone and the antibodies, but we didn't talk about the divine army idea. That so in one of her lectures, Srimataji has talked about there's a whole divine army of angels, and they protect us. But within the human body, they also take the personality of those antibodies that can get rid of anything that's attacking us. And so in a sense, when we know this, we know that we're protected, and we know that as Sahaja Yogis, when we meditate, we are less apt to get attacked, and we can call on that situation. So when you are attacked, you can go into meditation and you can clear yourself out, and you can ask for the divine army to take care of that issue for you and protect you. And there's a whole prayer in the ancient Hindu scriptures called the Kavach of the Devi, which talks about all the different ways that we're protected all over our body. And so basically it means that as we get deeper into our ability to meditate, the more protected we are and more like lions within the system. And so if we have people criticize us, or we encounter some kind of negativity, we have to be strong. And so what the meditation that I wanted to have you try this time is, let's pick a problem in the world. Let's pick a problem that's bothering you in the world, all right? And then I want you to make a fierce countenance toward that problem, that you alone, you and you alone can fight that issue by yourself with the strength of your heart chakra and all that divine army. And you have to focus your fierceness. And you're not fearless. And so if you get to the point where something's bothering you and you feel kicked around, you can go inside of you and feel that fierceness. So one time I was in a meditation seminar, and we were on a bus going outside of a city in India. And I was sitting next to someone in the bus seat, and I wasn't paying any attention, but somebody came into the window next to us on the bus. And it was some kind of a crazy person or scary person. And I went like this away from the window, and the girl next to me, who had more of a lion heart, she just picked that window up and shut it that quick. So you have to have that spirit where you can think on your feet and you can take care of any negativity that's trying to bother you that quick, and stand up to your friends that quick. And so that's what I mean when I mean you have to have your lion heart with you at the moment. All right, so what else do we have there? Okay. So we're going to just raise our Kundalini up. To end the session, and then we'll have Q&A. So we have to thank all of you, thank Shrimaji, thank the spirit. And now it's time for us to either go ahead and turn off everything and meditate, or you could stay on and ask them questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa and Rahul and everyone. This was extremely helpful. I was having, or am having, conflicts with my neighbors, feeling not loved and not wanted and conflicting. And with the tools that you have delineated today, I think that it will be extremely helpful. It already has been during the meditation. Thank you.
One of the things that I don't know if this is too advanced to share here, but one of the things that I do, I have a fireplace, and I don't know if everybody has one, or you could use your outside your barbecue. If you have something that's really dragging you in the dirt or really attacking you, you can just write that on a piece of paper and burn it, because the fire element can take, I mean, you write it on a piece of paper, give it a bandan, and then burn. And don't talk about that with people, because people will not interpret that well, but just privately, once in a while, if something's really sticking sticking with you and won't stand down. Thank you.
I have done this whole thing today so beautifully done, and Lisa, you explained it excellent. And I wanted to find out. I see it's been recorded. Is there any way we can get this recording by any chance?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you
Yep.
so much. Okay.
Yeah. Just one thing. I will share the WhatsApp group link where I will share this recording, and also
I'm there already. That's how I
Right.
get all these notifications.
Okay. Then I will share there.
Okay, thank you.
Rahul, if I may, I don't have WhatsApp because I do not use cell phones. Would it be possible to send me the email with the link?
Yes, definitely.
Would you like my email again, or do you still have it?
I have your email, Marty. I'll
Thank
share
you.
it with you.
Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Could I have the same as well, Rahul? I don't use that WhatsApp either.
Yes. Can you share your email once again, Kathy? And
Yes. Put it in the chat.